So what's good, TMG fam? It's your boy Ellen. I'm back with another reaction. How y'all feel? Welcome back to the channel. Salute. Now, listen, Dishwasher fired for feeding a homeless man, and then see what homeless man did when he found out. So we're gonna check out this story right here, man. Listen, I can already feel myself feeling some type of way, but we'll talk about it during the video. So if you're new, hit that subscribe button, join the fam. Let's check this out.
Camilla finished washing the last dish, soon noticing that all her co-workers had already left. She then changed her clothes and grabbed her purse. She left through the front door, saying goodbye to the guard, and headed home. The next day she went back to business as usual, but noticed that all her co-workers were looking at her suspiciously. Suddenly, an employee named Leah told her that money had been lost yesterday, but not only that, she immediately blamed Camilla for what happened. Camilla constantly brings that back. Surely there she hides what she steals, she told everyone. No, that's not true. I'm not a thief. Why are you blaming me, Leah? You know perfectly well that I would not be able to take something that's not mine, said Camilla the dishwasher. Well, explain that to the boss. Leah did not stop and continued blaming her. Better yet, I think we should call the police, she added. No need to call the police, Camilla said in a panic. Suddenly, the head of the restaurant named Emmanuel appeared, and everyone was silent. He looked at everyone present with disgust and then ordered Camilla and Leah to follow him. Once in his office, he asked, Leah, have you seen her taking money? Why are you blaming Camilla? I've been watching her.
That's what I was gonna add. But for you to accuse somebody, you better be for sure that that person is doing what you're saying. Meaning you better have video conclusive evidence. Because if not, bro, people are so crazy these days. And in this situation, they would be well within their rights, especially with you creating this type of hostile work environment towards this person. Oh, yeah.
Leah, have you seen her taking money? Why are you blaming Camilla? I've been watching her for a long time, boss, and I'm sure she's capable of stealing. Camilla, what are you saying in your defense? Why are you keeping quiet? I didn't steal the money, sir. I have nothing more to say. Fine, go to your jobs, but conversation is not over yet. At that instant, the boss's girlfriend, Sarah, entered the office. I don't understand, Emmanuel. Just throw them both out and that's it. I can't. They're both hard workers. Camilla turned to the boss. Please don't fire me, sir. It's hard to find a job and I need the money. You see?
Oh, y'all don't think she giving... No, it said feeding the homeless man, right? Yeah, the title said feeding the homeless man. They're talking about money missing. So now I'm totally confused right now.
Sarah said. She told you to your face she needs the money. If I were you, I would fire her right now. Emmanuel just looked at his girlfriend, but she didn't answer him. You see, Emmanuel was only 26-year-old. He always had it all. He grew up in a wealthy family. For many years, he lived carefree until he grew up. His parents understood that it was not good to give him everything, so they gave him a condition. Either you do something for life, or you simply run out of inheritance. Well, it wasn't that hard to choose, so he opted for the first option. He was thinking that it was time to have responsibilities, so he asked his parents to help him make a restaurant. It seemed so easy and simple. Finally, he was able to realize that dream. It was a big step for his life, and now he felt bad for not knowing how to control the situation. As much as he thought about who the thief would be, he couldn't find any answers. The bride hugged the pensive Emmanuel. Honey, you work all the time. We'd better go and rest. It's all overwhelming. You've done too much already. We're getting married in only 4 weeks, so it's good to be relaxed. You're right, dear, but I really can't let go of this. If I can't know who it was, then I'm no good as a boss. My father was right, that it was better to work for his company. Being a boss is not my thing. And it was...
Now, before we figure out, I know a lot of y'all are business owners and stuff like that, entrepreneurs. How would y'all proceed forth in this situation? Money is missing. We know that's true, right? Everybody's looking at this one person, but you have no conclusive evidence. You know, how do you handle a situation like this? Do you install cameras? Do you fire them just like the fiance is saying? Just fire them both, get rid of them, bring somebody new in. And what if you do that and then that person is not the actual person and you still have the problem? So how, I'm looking to y'all as business men and women, how would y'all handle this situation?
It's actually his grandfather who supported him. You see, the The restaurant was not entirely Emmanuel's. The great part belonged to his grandfather. His parents did not support him because they thought he would be a bad boss. So his grandfather, who trusted him, intervened, and only on the day he was not there, it would all belong to his grandson. But Emmanuel always had to prove that he would be able to win him over. The young man suddenly said to his girlfriend, "You better go out and relax with your friends. I need to get some things done." "Well, honey, if that's what you want, I'll listen to you. Only could you give me some money?" Sarah said, smiling at him. Emmanuel burst out laughing, pulling out his wallet. "Okay, here." The girl tenderly kissed the groom, took the money, and walked out the door. The young man watched her go.
What if it's her? Did anybody just kind of side eye like I did just then? It was like, mate, what if it's her?
Sighed, and went back to his business. Back at home, late at night, he could not sleep. But who is stealing from me? This is bad for the other employees. I don't think Camilla would be able to do this. "What are you thinking, grandson?" Grandfather asked Emmanuel, finding him in the kitchen with a cup of coffee. "Is business worrying you?" "Hello, grandfather." "Yes, a little," the boy confessed. It turns out that he always told all his things to the old man and was never afraid that he would laugh or simply scold him. That older man listened to him carefully and shook his head. "Listen, grandson, how about we solve my problems first and then yours? I need to go to the capital for about 14 days, but I also need to finish some business abroad. How about you travel in my place? It'll only be for 6 days, plus it's not a bad thing to hang out in another country. Can you take my place?" "What about the restaurant?" asked Emmanuel. "Why don't you ask your mother? Let her stay in charge." "No, I wouldn't want to bother her. She has her own business." "Then ask Sarah to help you. She can take your place. She's a smart girl." "Well, maybe you're right, Grandpa." The next day, Sarah was jumping for joy knowing she would be taking over the restaurant. "How wonderful, honey. I've always dreamed of being a restaurant manager, at least for a few days." "Thank you." "Don't worry, it was my grandfather who gave me the idea," Emmanuel replied, smiling.
Grandpa knows something. Grandpa's setting somebody up, and I think it's her, the fiance. I think he's telling him to go away to set her up to expose her to him of who she really is, possibly. I don't know that for sure, but that's just kind of how I'm feeling right now.
Sarah, upon hearing his words, said, "Well, give your grandfather 1,000 thanks from me. Even though I only met him a couple of times, I immediately realized that he is an amazing man. I love him already." She was so excited. You see, Emmanuel and Sarah had been dating for a little over 6 months. In fact, it was she who asked him to marry her. The boy accepted, and before long, they were both dreaming of getting married. Finally, the day of the trip arrived. But before leaving, Emmanuel gathered all his employees and announced that his girlfriend Sarah would take his place while he was away. And then he called Camilla. "I'm sorry, but you'll have to find yourself a new job. The team thinks it's you, and I can't risk everything for one person. I don't know why, but I can't find any more suspects. There started to be thefts since you started working more than 2 months ago, but don't worry, I won't throw you out right away. I'll give you 10 days to find a job. The truth is, I'm very disappointed. I thought better things of you, Camilla." "But I didn't take that money," the girl said quietly and with a puzzled look on her face. Barely holding back her tears, she ran out the back door of the restaurant, where she burst into tears of resentment and injustice. But Camilla did not realize that nearby there was someone listening to her, a homeless man, who, hearing her lament, approached her. "Can I help you, girl?" Camilla smiled sadly. "I think you should make room for me. Soon I will surely be by your side," he replied. "But why are you talking like that, girl? It's not nice to say that life isn't easy when you're here," the dirty and unkempt old man answered her. "I know we all have our own problems. I had a home too and was happy until I lost everything. It just happened that way. My wife died, his son had bad joints, went to jail. When he came back, he moved into our apartment and threw me out. People often treat me badly. I didn't ask for this. I have no children of my own. Now, I live on the street. I stand with my..."
See, that's the crazy thing about it. You know, often people they view homeless people as just drug addict junkies. That's all people just associate with homeless people. And that's not always the case. You have some people out there who want to be out there, not necessarily on drugs. And then you have other people who don't have any family, fell on hard times, and are out there. You know, it's just not drug addicts, you know, and we had to explain that to our kids because they were going to school hearing different things, and we heard them say something in the back seat one day and was like, no, that's not the case, and started to break it down and explain to them that it's not just that. Mind you, that's out there, but it's not all that.
Hand out, and when I'm hungry, I check the garbage cans. If I'm lucky, I'll find something decent to eat. No offense anymore, Grandpa. I didn't mean it, the girl replied. That's life, daughter. Suddenly, the homeless man was surprised by the woman's kind gesture. Surely you must be hungry. I'll bring you some food. Wait for me here, will you? But at that moment, the girl stood thinking for a few seconds. Hey, what happened, girl? Nothing, I just have to be cautious. They have me in their sights, she smiled. Are you having trouble with the boss? Asked the homeless man. Mr. Emmanuel? No, he's a very good man. Only now he will go away on a trip, and in his place will stay Sarah, his future wife. She's so different from him. She's conceited and always sees her employees as a little thing, but I'll be right back. Just don't go. I won't go, daughter. I won't go. Camilla returned after a few minutes and handed the old man a bag. Here's food and a couple of snacks. There's nothing else. Sorry. Oh, come on, you've done enough for a poor tramp. You have a kind soul, daughter. The old man spoke delightedly, then thanked her infinitely. But tell me, why did you cry? You haven't told me. Nothing, Grandpa. Everything will pass. Everything will be all right someday. Camilla smiled sweetly. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to go back to work. If you wish, come tomorrow. I'll feed you again. The old man nodded and cheerfully accepted the invitation. To his surprise, the next day when Camilla saw him, he immediately brought out hot soup in a bowl and a large bag in which it contained a warm coat, boots and gloves, even a scarf. But why, daughter? The old man was surprised. It's already winter, Grandfather, said Camilla. Your clothes are not ideal. You can catch a cold. Besides, they're my older brother Victor's. They're warm and good. He won't scold you? No, Grandpa, he won't. Last winter, my brother had a car accident and died. That's very unfortunate, the old man shook his head. Well, thank you, honey. The truth is, no one cared that much about me. Suddenly, the back door of the restaurant opened slightly and Leah appeared in the doorway. When she saw Camilla with the homeless man, she raised her hands to her head and shouted, Have you gone crazy? Are you being paid to talk to homeless people? I'll go right now and tell Mrs. Sarah all about it. She'll know what to do. Quickly. But what's the matter? Why are you shouting, Leah? Would it be easier for you if this old man froze to death or starved to death? Asked Camilla. Leah replied, Oh, now you are Saint Camilla, the one who helps the needy, the one who feels sorry for everyone. You better feel sorry for yourself, Camilla. You show no good by standing next to this filthy bum. Leah turned abruptly and walked into the restaurant. The old man, meanwhile, had already put...
That's one thing about life right there, bro. You know what I mean? You could be here in life or what you think to be here in life and quickly, in a blink or a snap of a finger, be right down here, bro. You know what I'm saying? They always say that the people you see going up could be the same people you see coming back down. And that fall from what you perceive or deem as grace, it'll hurt, bro. Like, be kind to everybody. You never know, man.
Put on what Camilla brought him and finished his meal. Thank you, daughter, but I'd better go. You're already in trouble because of me. Grandfather, where will you spend the night? The girl asked. Anywhere, daughter, he answered. Then she said to him, You know, I live nearby. My house is small, but I can make room for you. Why don't you better wait for me? I'll be off work soon. There you will have a bath and sleep well. They say this week will be the coldest. At least you can stay until the winter is over. Really? The old man was delighted. Thank you, daughter, the man said wholeheartedly. He even let out a few tears. We are people. Why should we treat each other differently? Camilla didn't have time to leave, when suddenly Leah appeared again, but this time next to her was Sarah. I warned you, Camilla, Leah said. Come on, get out of here, you beggar, shouted Sarah, who was wearing an expensive fur coat, to the old man. I don't want to see you around here again. You're here shaking your lice. You're not going to keep eating from my restaurant. You'd better go and keep rummaging through the garbage cans. I don't want to see you. And you, my dear, Sarah turned to Camilla. You can take your things too. I don't want to see you. But Mr. Emmanuel told me I could stay 10 days, Camilla commented. Do you even see Emmanuel around? In case you've forgotten, he's my boyfriend, and he does whatever I say. Even in case you didn't know, he promised to give me this restaurant after the wedding, that is, in less than a month. And you want me to put up with you? Silly dishwasher. Sarah shivered from the cold and hurried into the restaurant. Leah, raising her head, went behind her. Camilla wanted to cry but held back, gave the old man a smile, and asked him to wait for her. He went back to the restaurant to get his belongings.
Well, she lucky, bro. She lucky. She lucky she dealing with the right type of person. Some people not finna stand for that. She's a nice-hearted, sweet young girl. You know what I'm saying? And she's just taking this verbal abuse constantly taking this verbal. A lot of people ain't gonna stand for that. You ain't finna talk to them all kind of ways, fam. You'd have opened your mouth and you probably would have found something, you know what I mean? You'd have been waking up somewhere. Like, that's just to belittle people for no reason because you feel like you're up here or at a certain stature. Bro, I love the humble pie that those type of people receive. I love it. Good food. Chicken soup to the soul right there, fam. I swear. Like, whew, karma? Oh, it's coming.
It was clear that she had been fired. The homeless man stood still for a while, thinking about who knows what. Then he went behind a dumpster in the front parking lot of the restaurant, where he had some blankets, so he fell asleep. Suddenly, he heard someone. It was a female voice. "Have you gone crazy, Daniel? I can't come now. Why don't we meet as usual at the hotel? I know you miss me. I miss you too." The woman's manner of speaking was becoming more and more passionate. "I think you're taking advantage of my weakness. Yes, I want to be together with you too. What? You want me to lend you money to pay the car payment? But I gave you a few days ago. Why do you need more? Do you know that last time I almost got caught? That stupid dishwasher wouldn't budge, but it's okay. I'm going to the hotel right now." The old man wanted to lean out to hear more, but he made a noise. Sarah heard him and turned to him. "You filthy bum! But what are you doing here? I told you to leave." The woman pushed him into the street, telling him to get out. The poor man fell to the ground. Somehow, the unfortunate bum managed to get out of there and staggered away. But he couldn't go very far. He simply wasn't strong enough. He leaned against a wall. It was here that Camilla found him. When she found out what happened, she was very angry, but she helped him walk and managed to take him home. In half an hour, they arrived, and as soon as the door was opened, from inside the rooms came the voice of a child. "Auntie, is that you? Yes?" "Yes, Christian, I have a guest. We will now come to you to greet you." She turned to the old man. "Here's my nephew. He was bedridden after that accident. Come on, I'll introduce him to you, and then you'll go take a bath." "Hello," said the 6-year-old boy to the old man lying on the bed. "My name is Christian. How are you?" "Hello, I'm Grandpa Samuel. Do you know how to play cards?" "Dad and I always played, if you like." "Christian," Camilla interjected. "The master needs to bathe, eat, and rest. Play with him later, okay?" Nodded the boy. "Wow, did you bring something tasty, Auntie?" "Yes, I bought for us to eat with our guest." "Really?" The excited old man nodded. That's how he spent a wonderful dinner, talking with Camilla and little Christian. The old man also learned that Camilla and her older brother lost their parents when they were very young and were raised in an orphanage. As they grew up, the older brother got married, made his home. Everything was going well until he had an accident. Victor, his older brother, and his wife died. Little Christian was the only survivor, but he was seriously injured and was now bedridden. Camilla sold her house to pay for his treatment debts and bought a small apartment with what she had left to live with her nephew. The saddest thing is that the treatment did not work. The only thing that could help her nephew was a very expensive operation abroad, but the young woman had run out of money. She was lucky enough to get a job in a restaurant where she was well paid. The money was spent mainly on Christian's medication, and while she worked, a neighbor came to take care of him. She paid for everything, Camilla told the old man. He watched as the young woman fed his nephew.
She a straight up saint, bro. Straight up saint. And never pushed her problems on anybody at that workplace because they obviously don't know. Don't even know. And she's being treated the way she's treated, bro. That's what I say, man. Karma be lurking around the corner.
He was so happy eating what he liked the most. The girl wanted to cry. She knew everything would be harder without a job, but then she restrained herself. Finally, she took the old man to sleep in her bed. The man couldn't believe it. He was planning to sleep on some furniture, but she insisted. "You need to rest." "Well, you are an old person." For 2 days, the old man lived with Camilla, and on the third day, he said goodbye to her. "I can't stay here anymore, girl. I'm just another mouth and you can barely make ends meet." So no matter how much Camilla asked him to stay, he left. She never saw him again. More than 10 days passed. Emmanuel stayed longer than expected abroad, and when he came back, he found out that his girlfriend had fired Camilla early. He was so angry with Sarah, but she tearfully told him, "This rude girl insulted me in front of everyone. I had to fire her. But don't worry, Leah's cousin, the waitress, works at Camilla's place. She's a hardworking girl. Please don't scold me anymore." "Yeah, don't cry, love. It's okay. I will respect your decision." "Calm down," Emmanuel told her, who in turn commented, "Listen, honey, tomorrow we have a banquet. My grandfather is coming from doing some business. I want to get the whole family together." The young man told her, "Good," replied Sarah. "I'll invite my family too. Do you think so?" "Sure. I like to see my in-laws again," commented Emmanuel with a smile. Already the next evening, Emmanuel and Sarah's family gathered at the restaurant, but one more guest was missing. Emmanuel tried several times to call him, but nothing. He was already starting to get worried when suddenly a beggar came through the door. Sarah screamed in indignation, recognizing him immediately. It was the same homeless man she had seen a few days ago. Everyone looked at this
What if that's the grandpa, bro?
Man with surprise, and only Emmanuel laughed, turning to him. "Grandfather, but what are you doing?"
I told you, bro. She done got. This is like, what's this show? Is it Horrible Boss? Not Horrible Boss. I think that was the movie or something. That boss show where they go undercover and stuff like that. Oh, snap.
"Do you want to ruin our dinner?" But the old man did not smile and turned to Sarah. "Do you want to throw me out again?" "I don't think so, sweetie. In case you didn't know, I'm the majority owner of all this, not my grandson. He just manages all my affairs. He comes dressed like this because I have to speak in front of everyone." The old man began to take off his rags, false beard, and wig. Now, a respectable older man stood before everyone and was very angry. Sarah said nothing, and then Emmanuel's father got up from the table. "Dad, explain to us at once what's going on." "Well, here it goes. When the trouble started at the restaurant, I realized right away that someone was trying to cheat on Emmanuel. I wanted to see everything from the outside and came up with the idea of posing as a bum. I spent only a few days around my own establishment. I learned many interesting things. Well, one of them is that our dear Sarah meets almost every day in a hotel with one of the restaurant guards who works in the morning. I overheard them talking on the phone, and then I wanted to know more, so I put on an investigator. She would periodically steal the money and then spend it on him." Emmanuel stepped back from the girl, whom he was holding by the hand. "Is what my grandfather says true, Sarah?" She was bewildered and suddenly ran out of the restaurant. Her embarrassed relatives also ran out after her. Everyone was stunned. Emmanuel sat stunned in a chair, and Grandpa continued. "Camilla was never guilty, dear grandson. She's the best girl I have ever met. She is kind and nice and really needs help, so you and I will go with her now. She has a lot of problems." On the way, the grandfather told her everything that had happened in his absence. When they arrived, Camilla looked at the old man with astonished eyes, and Emmanuel witnessed what was happening. The old man told Camilla that he would like to support her. He wanted to take his nephew Christian abroad so that he could achieve recovery. "I spent the last few days looking for a good hospital, so get ready, we're going abroad." "Me too," Emmanuel said. "I need to come to my senses and relax. Only first I'll find a new waitress to replace Leah." "No," Camilla told him. "Please let her work. She has a family." A week passed since then. The doctor was approaching Camilla and told her, "The operation has been a success." Everyone was happy to hear such news. The girl did not know how to thank them. Little Christian's treatment continued, and the doctors gave them good prognosis. Now he was sitting in the garden of the clinic and playing cards with his grandfather. Camilla and Emmanuel were looking at him with a big smile. "What a good boy," Emmanuel said. "I would like a son like that. And you, Camilla, would you like to have a son?" "I don't know. I've yet to find the right man," Camilla blushed. Meanwhile, Grandfather Samuel, who was playing cards with the little boy, looked at them and smiled. He knew that everything would be better from now on. Undoubtedly, an incredible story with a truly deserved ending. If you do well, destiny will know how to reward you.
Dang, I ain't pick up on the grandpa until he was getting ready to walk through the door. That's what you get. That's what you get right there, bro. Karma, karma, karma. I didn't see the old man coming. I didn't think about that aspect of it. Some of y'all might have got that before me, bro, but still dope nonetheless. Sometimes you got to get creative to see what's going on around your business establishment. Now, some of y'all watching this may be business owners, restaurant owners, and here's another way for you. I ain't saying you got to go dress up as a homeless person, but get clever to figure out what's actually going on in your establishment when you're away. Because when you're there, everybody's going to be all goody-goody, the perfect employee, this, that, and the third. But as soon as you walk out, that's when the true person actually comes out. So figuring out different ways, man, to get creative, make sure your establishment is running the way you want it to, because ultimately it's your name on the line. You know what I'm saying? So y'all get at me in the comment section, man. Let me know what you thought of this video, bro. Super, super dope story. Until next one, I'm gone. Peace.